The hip-hop writer is a creator composing understanding words of cultured brilliance, powering a rebalance of the elements equally. Pages of rejuvenated reaffirmation, simply the almighty leadership of insightful craft work that stands to build through any confrontation born to be. Yet his daily duty is as a journalist that questions properly and uses his ears to filter the real. And as the art decays by dilution, he concentrates the best again and again, exposing it in the print. Today's journalist and tomorrow's historian, he listens to share. Here is that necessary attempt executed again and again and again. This is the Power Right Show on S.STREET Media. This is your brother, the lone low life with the home sewn garment, the Boricua with the build, the true and living God stepping the score, Sunya's Allah, aka Skiller Straight or Low. And we're on S.STREET Media, the evolution of media, where every intrigue will have its own show, every incredible thought will have its own episode, and every timeless insight will be archived. Woo! And as I always say, this is about my element of hip-hop. What I like to call the writer of art on art and science on music. The only show in history on the hip-hop writer element that I, a veteran of over a quarter century, helped to pioneer. You know what I mean? And, we've been doing this show with great works. I've been focusing on interviews, you know what I'm saying? Because that's been the goal this year. And we're really getting the depth out of the artist. And today's show is going to be very special for a certain reason. And I would divulge this reason why we're doing this, why this particular interview build is very important to me. I have a particular goal in mind. And we may not achieve it because it's up to this incredible artist and his insights. But at least we make knowledge born. At least we let it be known. You know what I mean? Like Isaiah Thomas be saying, you know what I mean? Right? You ever see Isaiah Thomas? He's always saying, let it be known. Man, we got some books out. I have a book coming. I have the book coming, The Reel of 2021. It's going to be in print and ebook. And it's going to include this book that you get right now, The Reel of 2020 ebook, which is available for a very low price, man. It is a complete 70-page analysis of the best musicians and artists in hip-hop music today, bracketed in a revolutionary new system, ciphers that categorize this entire musical universe. Years from now, though, the works that I'm putting out are going to be crucial in understanding what has happened in this era of hip-hop. You know what I mean? That you won't be able to find in the Billboard. You won't be able to find in, pseudo historians that were there for none of it. We're there for none of it, though. And then they see something graduate. They see something cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the story behind Bing Bong? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's saying that. But, I've been covering people like Nems for years and years. You know what I mean? And people get a diluted version. It's so funny now. They got like all the, all the kids that have nothing to do with hip-hop anywhere and stuff like that. They're doing Nems videos and doing TikTok in them. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. It's crazy to see like young kids, white, black, brown, yellow, all these different type of kids saying, Nems lines and shit. You know what I mean? Don't ever disrespect the history of this shit and not mess with my books, including the Filtered Reel Essays from the Invisible Renaissance, out on paperback, ebook. All of these books, you can contact me at sunez97@gmail, SUNEZ97@gmail.com. And man, I got all these books for you. You know what I'm saying? These are crucial books. These are about these years that I call the Invisible Renaissance, where this music became big quantity-wise and became incredible qualitatively wise, challenging, staying on par with the excellence of the greatest recorded era in hip-hop, the 90s. You know what I mean? The 90s. Which I consider that. But all these books also, we also have, some notes and stuff. Go to my brother DJ Toshi's Classic Storm Radio. We got episode 299 up. Yo, we got one more to 300, man. I know I started with DJ Toshi. He's been on for 14 years. And I started with Toshi 6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And for this 299th episode, we got a great exclusive build. Stuff you never heard him say before from DJ JS1. You know what I mean? Because I asked him things nobody asks him. You know what I mean? That's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? So go to DJ Toshi Classic Storm. DJ Toshi, Toshi, classicstorm.podomatic.com. You know what I'm saying? And for our last episode, man, much respect, much love, and, much blessings in her journey in the fight that our guest last week is on, that people like myself are in with her. Cassandra, the Goddess MC, a great artist, has one of the great albums this year. Cobra, one of the most entertaining ones for sure. And we talked about her history, but we also talked about this fight against these vaccine mandates. And she gave her whole story and stuff. And it is definitely one for the archives. You know what I mean? Also, too, I got my Concentrated Supremacy program. You know what I'm saying? Like martial arts program live in Staten Island every Sunday. Email me, DM me, Sunez on the Instagram, Sunez7, the number 7 on Twitter. If you're interested in stuff, man. This is what's going to introduce you into the martial arts at a rate that is affordable. You know what I'm saying? And get you into the entire culture of Shaolin Kung Fu. You know what I mean? In all its particular variants, you know what I'm saying? And the umbrella of the animal styles, the Wing Chun, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But yo, we got some great shows coming up. As I said before, DJ Toshi's, we're celebrating 14th year. DJ Toshi's Classic Storm Radio. That's going to be Wednesday, November 24th. And the headliners are, CL Smooth and Raw Digger. You know what I'm saying? That's top of the line. We got Dysfunctional Family, The Good People, a lot of special guests. You know what I'm saying? Music by DJ Toshi, of course. DJ Ready C, of course, if you know. DJ Butter L, and a set from DJ Boogie Blind. You know what I'm saying? And it's hosted by my brother, S.STREET Media's own, too. Skanks the Rap Martyr. Have a great build with Skanks the Rap Martyr earlier this year. Go check that out, too. But and also I might be in the building too, hosting along with Skanks. You know what I'm saying? Skanks, one of the most entertaining individuals in the universe. You know what I'm saying? And this is powered by Asbane and No Measure Music. It's going to be at the Mercury Lounge, November 24th, 217th East Houston Street. So get out there. You know what I'm saying? Get out there. November 24th. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be worth it. It's going to be great. You know what I mean? Also, we skip ahead to next month. December 17th, Friday, man, at S.STREET Media, man. Woo! The Blockwork Concert NYC. You know what I'm saying? We got DJ Jivis, DJ Swift, and the headliners and the artists here are incredible. Smoke Dizza, Flea Lord, Hattie Rax, Cortez, D Chamber, Starvin' B. You know what I'm saying? We just had a great build with him a couple of episodes earlier. Free God, who has a great EP out. Saw Money, Bottom Line, Ahari, Boogie 3X, Sick Mike, Dot Gates, Just God, MC, Cliff Sama, Diz the Icon. That's a loaded lineup. And if you don't know who they are, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And if you know who they are, you're definitely going to want to see, because people haven't seen performances from some of these people. And it's going to be at a most hip-hop location, Secret Bronx location. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be worth it. Trust. It'll be worth it. You know what I mean? So go to skullstreetmedia@gmail.com, or just go to, DM Skull Street Media, S.STREET Media on IG. You know what I'm saying? Go to Eventbrite, look for that up. The Blockwork Concert, the Blockwork Concert NYC, and you'll find it December 17th. You know what I'm saying? It's an 8 o'clock show. You know what I'm saying? So if you got early bedtimes or not, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? And enthused. With that said, man, a lot of stuff. I have a special guest. You know what I'm saying? It's a brother that I think has been one of the best MCs since 2018. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get him on the line now so we can build with him. You know what I mean? And I always like to do these intros when the guest is on the line. You know what I'm saying? Do we have Ralphiie Reese there?
We got me.
Peace to the God. Peace to the God.
Peace. Say peace, Benny. I got Detta with me.
All right.
I got Detta with me. We in the stew right now.
Oh, that's peace. Oh man, 2 for 1 superstars. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you think so.
Yo, no doubt, no doubt. You know what I mean? I didn't give the intro. I was telling the listeners, I gave some thoughts, some ideas, but I didn't give an intro to you, Ralphie Reese, because I like for you to hear it. I think it's very important. You know what I mean? And
All
it's
right,
great that
put me on.
indeed,
Knowledge.
indeed. You know what I'm saying? This is something I wrote, and it came out in my Filtered Real book, and I wrote this. You know what I mean? I was talking about the Wu-Tang. And I said,
Okay.
some disrespectfully think they are woo replacements. You know what I'm saying? Others dynamically amplify and distort aspects to entirely distinct stylization. While now I see
Right.
an even deeper inspiration to a glorious elevation with Ralphiie Reese. You know what I mean? I said that Reese proclaims as his entering aphorism through most tracks before he destroys the booth or after he's left it uninhabitable. You know what I mean? It's almost like a deep thought ghost face uttered at the dawn of the dark ages, but taken so much further by Reese. You know what I mean?
Word.
And Ralphie Reese to me, and I hate comparisons, and I only say, and I mention Wu off the bat because I want to chuck it, Ralphie. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I want to chuck it.
Okay, you want to throw that shit out the window.
That's right. I want to throw it out the window. That's why I mention it immediately. You'll see articles about Ralphie Reese and Bandcamp and others, and they compare him to Wu. And I think and I think after a genre is about 40 years old in recording, we're just about recording. Been recorded for over 40 years. You know what I mean? There's going to be influences that people have. But what I heard from Ralphie Reese, when I really got into him and wrote about him, I heard somebody that was influenced but had that grit and was able to capture the grit. I don't think this grit can be captured by just listening to Wu. I don't think it could be captured by just going through some street experiences, because you have to have the talent to actually transfer a real life experience that you live out there.
Articulate those stories.
That's right. That's right. You got to be blessed. To me, listeners, Ralphie Reese is blessed with the voice, the cadence.
I wouldn't say I was blessed, God. I was helped.
I hear you.
I was helped. I got my brother here with me right now. I ain't know two things about writing or rhyming or recording and shit.
Indeed, indeed. Well, you know what? I was
a hype man.
For this build, I want to start with the entire Ralphie Reese history. You know what I'm saying? I want it so it's known, so it's there, and we could get all the details out. Because even though you've given it in some places, it isn't with the type of detail where how someone could get this good. You know what I'm saying? It just magically appears. And I don't think that's the case. So Ralphie Reese, you're out in Philadelphia. Tell me about Philadelphia, growing up in Philadelphia, and what got you to, just live hip hop and then decide to make it.
It was always around me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But my uncles, fresh out of the crack era, they born knowledge. Hip hop was just all around me every day.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And my uncles was hustlers or whatever. So, the lingo, the style of dressing, it was always in me. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed. So, like, when you start to, there's always a break. There's always a segue where, you're living the culture, you're around the culture, like we all were in the urban cities and shit. But where you decide to say, listen, I think I'm gonna try to write something, but then also perform it, and how did that first go for you?
All right, so boom, right? So you know the track on Bladesylvania 1, it's a track called Terror in the Hour of Death.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm telling that story about what happened that night or whatever, I had went away to Job Corps and shit. So as I go away to Job Corps, I'm on my way out of town, don't know nobody and shit like that. Not trying to meet nobody. I just had all these thoughts fresh from back in the city. I just started putting my thoughts to paper, like a little journal, started rhyming one day. Because, originally I was the beat man. All my friends rap, you know what I'm saying? Vinny, everybody, you know what I'm saying? They all rap. So I was trying to make beats to fuck with them. They was on a whole nother wave at the time. So, they was throwing my shit back in the crib. Like, oh, we ain't fucking with that shit. Get this shit, get sharp. I started rapping on my own shit. trying to, come up with bars to that stuff.
So you were
Over time I just got better. I was a late bloomer.
Right. Because I
So I
heard
started taking rhyming serious to like 23 or some shit.
Mm-hmm. What makes you want to say at that age though that you're gonna go record something? What's the major motivation that pushes you to that next level?
I was alone at that time, bro. Like I just needed to tell my story.
Mm.
It wasn't nothing going well for me at the time. Homeless, all types of shit. Caught a little charge or whatever the fuck. So I was just, lonely and needed to tell my story. I needed an outlet. If, being in the studio kept me out of trouble, kept all of us out of trouble, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was around love and creativity.
When you say, you was writing your rhymes and stuff like that, you also make incredible music, you know what I mean? And to me, you're one of the best with the sample. You know what I'm saying? Like we could give the same sample to 5 people, and I'm most likely gonna be most blown away by what you do with the same sample. You know what I'm saying?
Where?
You always do something I don't think is gonna be done with it. You know what I'm saying? And you've been doing that for a couple of years.
You want to know why that's like that? You want to know why that's like that? Because I've grown a producer here, right? And I feel like this is not a shot. Don't take it as a shot.
Right.
But I feel like some of our legends, they just caught the immediate satisfaction. They didn't let the record play.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To their credit, we see more music now. And when I say we see more music, we pull those waves up, we stretch them out, spread them apart, you know what I mean? Chop them up, clip them, copy, paste, whatever the case may be. We see more music.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, with all the crates that people come through, and not to divulge too many secrets, but with so many crates that producers in general like yourself are around, what makes you go deeper? Mm-hmm. How do you select which songs and which records to mine deeper, to listen to longer? You know what I mean? Like, how does that go? Like, how do you make those decisions?
You have to enjoy the music first of all. I'm a student of music. Like I like how Motown was recording their artists. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Reverb is a direct descendant of the Motown sound. And people don't even dig the Motown sound was a fucking bathroom. You know what I'm saying? That's the Motown sound, the bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to enjoy the music, first of all. And to further answer that question, to select it for me or select it for my brothers or whatever, it's like sonically I make blueprints or something. Because I come with the characters and this, that, and the other. So how do we want to present Shinigami? How do we want to present Voldemort? How do we want to present Math Magician or Count Darkula? What's the sonic bed of music? You know what I mean? To get the story out, make it sound good, to make these beats clash with the rhymes.
Did you start
like making... That's first and foremost.
Right. Did you start making beats before you were rhyming, like on wax or?
Yes,
what was
of course. Right. Way before I was making beats. Way before I started rhyming. How long, Benny? Like 10 years?
That's crazy.
3 or 4 before I started like rapping and shit. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question in general about the beat making though, right? Because sonically on your records, Reese, right? Everything always sounds, there's a real dungeon sound. There's always like a filtered sound. It always sounds like 10 levels below, like 10 basements below. You know what I'm saying? And the longer that we listen to your work, the more it seems so effortlessly designed, like it's so effortless that I really think that people sleep on it. You know what I'm saying? I really think that people don't.
I'm still perfecting it, Lord. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was not nowhere near where I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you because you know what I'm saying, I got a lot of love for you, and I got a lot of love for the people. So I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. So, with my production style, right? It's the funk of Eric and Parrish mixed with the muddiness of RZA.
Mm.
That's what it is.
Wow, the funk of Eric and Parrish mixed with the muddiness of RZA. Yeah, that's a good description there. And that mentality
that's exactly
you take.
What it is.
Wow. I mean, people could say they would want to hear that, but to actually be able to make something that sounds like that is incredible. You know what I mean? It really is incredible.
That's hard. That's hard to pull off because funk is not muddy, really.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If you really listen to funk is like real polished music. You know what I mean? And to take funk and thug it out, that's a whole other type of crazy.
Indeed. Yeah, it's a very clean sound. Like the bass lines are clean. Everything is clean. Yeah. It might be chaotic, but it's still clean. You know, I get that.
It's very chaotic.
Right. Indeed. Well, you know, when you start, let's talk about the Dart unit, since we have one of the brothers there, Vinny Vendetta. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And let's talk about the Dart unit. But before I begin the Dart unit, though, I just want to say a quick condolences to Supreme Cerebral, his family. You know, remembered imperfection to his father. Yes. He lost his father, and as he wrote the eulogies on the social media, though, it was very impactful in his life. Brother. You know what I mean? And
he loved his pop. You know what I'm saying? We all do.
Indeed. You know, and if we appreciate
and this right here,
absolutely. If we appreciate the things that Supreme Cerebral has shared and done, then it's something to say that his father had something to do with that. You know what I mean? And you know, remembered imperfection to Supreme Cerebral's father, though. You know, and condolences to the family. But
definitely.
But the Dart unit, you know what I'm saying? Like, tell me about the Dart unit. Like, what was the goal of Dart unit? Because everybody has very distinct sounds. You know what I'm saying? You listen to only people that don't really know how to discern music would see no differences. But Supreme's work is very different, and the goal that he takes is much different than what you do, and certainly different than what Vendetta you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you do is totally different. And now Vendetta, singing the soul songs, he surprised me. You know what I'm saying? I thought I had a hip hop record. I really did. I thought I had a hip hop record, and you were singing, and I was like, "Holy shit!" You didn't tell nobody you was singing, or at least you didn't tell me. And I was like, and I pressed play and everything, and I was like, "What?" And then I had to cut it off, and I was like, "I got to say this later. This is for nighttime now." Shit.
He right here. I told him like, "Yo, it could have been way better." You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, even though he's singing on joints, it's still coming from the sound of us, so to speak. So you can't go to everybody and expect for them to articulate that sound.
Right.
It's good music. It's good. It's very good music. Benny bodied it, but I mean, everything else around it wasn't properly engineered. So the unit's taking over the next shit.
I hear that. Well, for me,
I'd say this. And shit.
With Vendetta, though, unleashing that other superpower, I think it's like a Lauryn Hill effect. I would like to see everything done on a record. Rap, sing, everything. Just, do it all on a record. You know what I mean?
Right.
Those records are so rare.
He said you're giving them a Lauryn Hill effect.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the ability to do it all is so rare that I would think that if one could do it all, they would try to do it all on one record. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my little thoughts on that. You know what I'm saying? My little thoughts on that. But Reese, I wrote a lot about your 2018 works. You know what I'm saying? I really felt, and I still feel, that all your records to me are so solid. But I felt, in my opinion, and this is why I wrote about you so highly in your 2018 records in the Filtered Reel. I I really felt that after Math Magician was like the record that took you to another level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so too. That's what made people understand that I was serious. My opinion, from what I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, same
And,
here.
I guess they felt like the Darth Vader shit was a fluke. And, I kept coming with it. And then I gave a Math Magician. I feel like that's like the opus of my catalog. By people, stealing it or whatever. I personally, I really feel like it's Bladesylvania 1. I feel like that's the opus of the catalog.
Wait, which one is the opus you feel?
Bladesylvania, personally.
The first Bladesylvania.
But if you was to ask somebody else, the first Bladesylvania.
I could see it.
But if you was to ask anybody else, they would say Math Magician, and I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't. There's some artists that have their records are so different. In good and bad ways, that you could tell which one you think is like the opus or the best one. But I just felt like that was the one where everything came together for the first time. The thing is, I feel like the albums afterward, the ideas and everything really came together. So after that, it's like when I listen to a certain artist and I think that they're on that level, on that highest level, then after that, I don't think that you can miss anymore after that. You know what I'm saying? As long as you get that balance of experimentation, giving us the next shit, doing the shit that you know how to do well. But there's so many great records on that album. You know what I'm saying? And then it makes sense because by the time Shine Mosley 2 and then Arrow Bowie, those records seem so easy for you to do. Like as a listener, they seem easy coming from you.
You know what's funny about Arrow Bowie? I only did that to finish writing Bladesylvania because I needed another seat at the table.
How do you mean?
Because the first Bladesylvania cover is like the Last Supper. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I had to fill all the spots. So I couldn't make the story connect without adding something else.
So the whole Arrow Bowie
is all that was originally.
It's like a fill-in to the story.
Yeah, right. I didn't even really mean to do that, but I had to. That was the only way Bladesylvania was going to work.
Tell me about the theme of Bladesylvania. Why is it called that? And what goes into a Bladesylvania work that what makes it belong in there as opposed to Arrow Bowie?
Well, first it stems from me first. I stay up all night. I feel like I vent life. I feel like I'm Blackula and all that shit. And I had kicked the rhyme in Math Magician. I said Count Darchula. The Count Darchula picture the staff. I'm like Spartacus, hold the homo, some shit like that. And people started calling me Count Darchula. It was catching. So I'm like, okay, cool, Count Darchula. That'll be my name. I just said that. I wasn't like naming myself. It stuck. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me see where I could take this. Absolutely. And it turned into a whole being. It turned into my end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I love Count Darchula and what he represents. He represents the smooth, calculated killer. You know what I'm saying? With like all the makings of a Jedi and like Blackula in one. He's Anakin and Blackula.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, sonically, what comes with Bladesylvania, a lot of funk, blaxploitation films, psychedelic music, prog rocks, stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some old Isaac Hayes shit to really bring that whole thing to life.
Right. One of the things, I want to talk about your writing style and stuff because it's very stream of conscious, but it has incredible word choices. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
a lot of slang is developed by your way of rhyming, not because it's a new word that never existed, but it's a new use of the word.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You use
Right.
words in ways that they're not really used that way. And that's what makes it
Rhyme sodomy.
you just right? He's just fucking with me now, right? But but you know, like, and I'll be quoting this whole episode because I want people to get it. But like some lines from Shine Mosley 2 album, you know what I mean? I just love. I move troops, molest boots. You end on the snare. I'm on the second wind. I'm on my second wind. Knowledge the spear. Pack 12 like a carton of smoke. Scanning niggas with the blazer. It's heat in the strokes from hot sabers.
The strokes from hot sabers.
You know, who says sabers? You know what I mean? Like, you'll say a word that nobody's using, like sabers, you know what I mean? And, you know, like,
right.
I got to say, like,
hot needles, man.
There's so many people that they build with the knowledge. There's a lot of MCs now that have the knowledge of stuff that are really doing great music. And I would say that they're top tier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Not to cut your wisdom.
No, please build.
It's one thing to build with the knowledge, but it's another thing to, like, my opinion, to officially make knowledge born. You have to speak on how you see the knowledge. How does it relate to you right now in the fizzy? How is it relating to this conversation? How was the knowledge relating to this conversation right here? So if I'm speaking on something that happened in 2017, I can't build on knowledge from the 60s. I can't come with that aspect from the 60s. I got to come with the aspect 2017. When I'm talking knowledge or when I'm talking historical moments and then making them double entendres for the now, how does it relate to now? And then you making a plus lesson at that point, my opinion.
I see it.
When you equate the two, that's when you make the plus lesson.
I definitely see that.
Because the knowledge of mathematics is deeper than just a definition. Everybody knows the definition to because.
I see it. Let me ask you a question, because I ask everybody that's 5% that's building with this, you know what I mean? The gods are dominating this music. There's no way around it. The way that we speak, the way that we keep creating things, whether it's you out there in Philly or it's STNAC out there in UMass or anybody everywhere, Supreme
right.
Cerebral out in LA, everybody is
shout out to NAC. Shout out to Nat, shout out to Divino, that whole crew.
Indeed. But everybody's got such
Rest
unique.
In peace to the God.
Indeed, peace to the God. Remembered in perfection, King Asiatic.
King Asiatic, yep.
Indeed, peace to the God.
I've reached out to those brothers, you know what I'm saying?
That's peace. You know, and when we talk about this Renaissance, I say it's the invisible Renaissance because there's so much junk that gets thrown out that it just covers and covers this incredible world that I'm covering here, but and taking part in as well. But the things that the gods are doing, you know, and you know, obviously I'm talking outside of the box though, but I'm in that box. You know what I'm saying? But right. But you know, I'm talking outside of it for a moment here. The things that are being done with the language, you know what I'm saying, and really sharing it, it sticks with people. And this is what I've noticed with students. This is what I've noticed, you know, like people like yourself, Supreme, the God Planet Asia, STNAC, they'll say things and they're so different. They're so stylistically at another level that the words stick with people. You know what I'm saying? And the beauty of the word is being amplified.
That's what it is. Right. That's exactly what it is. It's like when God MCs are talking what we're talking, we're making knowledge born on wax or whatever. I don't really think it's slang. Like when we're being very literal in what we're saying, but it seems so colorful to the listener. They take that in it every day.
Right.
But we being dead serious when we putting that and when we delivering it. Every Gotham City. I don't care who you name. We being dead serious.
That's right. I definitely see that. You know, let's talk about these recent records. You know what I'm saying? Since I last wrote about them in the Filtered Reel, the records that have come out since 2019 and stuff. So we'll start with Bladesylvania, since we were talking about that. You know what I mean? And some highlights.
Yeah, that's my baby.
Out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's such an important record. And you know, for you, and I'll say
subjective.
I'll say for myself, I say for you because for myself, I can't really find my one go-to Ralphie Reese record. You're still at the level of latest record is the one I play the most. You know what I'm saying?
Where like Stevie Wonder, it's impossible to pick a favorite joint.
yeah. And this output is like 70s Stevie Wonder. You know, this is your shit right here. You know, it's such a wonderful prime. You know what I'm saying, that you've been on, especially since 2018. It's on another level.
Well, I appreciate you.
And you know, things like the cleansing on Bladesylvania, the soul sample, the crackling vinyl. It's hard to make it like that. We're fucking spoiled.
I wrote the cleansing the afternoon we got the news that Nipsey passed.
Oh wow.
That was the last track. The cleansing was supposed to be way harder. Remember the original cleansing, B. Vinny? The original cleansing was going to be way harder to go into the third track. Yeah, right. No, did it? It did. It did. The original cleansing, the beat ended up on Voldemort.
But on this cleansing, though,
because my mind changed.
Right.
6 shots, rock the God at 33, quality death. Evil lurking, what yo?
You know, that way of flowing though tells stories so intricately. And you know what's interesting is that there's a stream of conscious flow that you have that dives us in and out of stories, in and out of concepts, in and out of like aphorisms and understandings. You know, this song I had written about it, a stream of conscious flow, but there's a thing you do where your word choices, they merge with the word altering. So you also do,
exactly.
I guess, you know, I like to call it a Philly thing because to me, Black Thought is one of the legends at altering words to rhyme them. You know what I mean? And
I wouldn't call it a Philly thing. I would call it a understanding a literature thing. If you understand words,
no doubt,
and how words have their own rhythms.
Absolutely, yeah, and definitely. The reason I say that is I definitely think that when people talk about the great Philly MCs, I think your name has to be in there. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
It will be eventually, hopefully.
Oh yeah. As the way I write it, sure. You know what I'm saying? Sure. You know? And yo, the song titles though, you be throwing me for a loop. I'm gonna pronounce so many of these things so fucking wrong, but I love the way you fuck with the song titles though. They could be like English written wrong, or they could be a different language though. You've got me all fucked up on these. You know what I mean?
It's phonetic. It's phonetically spelled though, like the ones that got K's and Z's and goofy ways to spell shun and all that shit.
Right. Like Math Magician,
phonetically charged. Right. It's phonetically charged though. Mm-hmm. If it's not in another language, it's phonetically charged.
I hear that. And then we have track 3. I'll just give you part of the title. Habibti, something like that. I don't even know, man. But the lines.
That's Arabic for my love, you're the light of my eye.
Oh, that's dope. You know,
because if you remember what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Lil Shorty or whatever.
And you had such great lines in there. So, you know, some of these lines for the listener. Look at this. The improvised was compromised with cyanide thoughts, civilized the bogey, neutralized all the pressure. We measured the weather. You know what I mean? And it just continues to go on from there. There's this just great wordplay. You know, you mentioned entendres though. The entendres are crazy because they could go on. They could mean multiple things. You know what I'm saying? They could be multiple things, you know, when you start rhyming.
Right,
like
especially when you put a situation before or after it. That's what borns an entendre. That's what make it triple, quadruple, or whatever the case may be. You got to put the context around that metaphor.
Or like, Sins of the Sweet. You said molest the numerical speech lines. I'm tree vines, strangling felines. I was like, This
Right.
nigga is wild. No, you know, we buy hip hop records to hear a brother wild out. You know what I mean? Wild out, black out.
Right.
And there's so many songs where I really feel like you just blacked out with the pen. You know what I'm saying? You know, the title track, Bladesylvania, you know, 25, see me sporting my gleams, serotonin leaking wisdom, stuff in the 5, equality, the mission. That's tough.
Right.
Yeah, that's tough there because if you understand the mathematics, so you see where you're going with it, and it's just dope. You know what I mean? But who says that? Serotonin leaking wisdom. You know what I mean?
Right. You see what I'm saying?
That's beautiful
The
shit.
power and the equality dimension. You know what I'm saying? I left one out. You know what I'm saying? You got another step. That's why equality is the mission. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. Yo, it's just dope stuff, and there's so much fun with the wordplay. You know what I'm saying? Convert the bogey with monologue. I mean, who says that? You know what I'm saying? Blows.
Right. That's all we doing though. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to civilize the 85. Convert the bogey with monologue. You know what I mean?
Indeed. He said, blow his rescue, choking niggas out with a parachute. We coming for all danger, respectful. We coming for all danger, respectful. Only he's killing people respectfully. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Right.
And I
That's
love some of
give it to him.
Yo, the song titles are great too. You know, I make jokes about how they're spelled wrong, but like, look at this. Born Knowledge Babies from Power Hill. You know what I'm saying? If you know Power Hill's Philly, you know what I mean? And that's what we call it.
Right.
Us, the gods and earths. That's what we call it. You know what I mean? And Born Knowledge, the year that you was born, right?
Exactly.
Just crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And you know, when you're writing these records, you know, like I keep saying, like, how do you know you're done with a record? You know, because some of your records might be shorter, they might be longer. How do you know when it's done? When you get the feeling
when I have a short record, I call them like interludes, intermissions, or whatever, just to get a little thought out to get you to the next track or whatever. Or just sum up what you heard so far, or just give you how I'm feeling that day. But my actual tracks. You know, I go 20 and 20. 2 20-bar verses. I might give you a little something to bridge the verse, whether it's a hook or I'm saying a transitional piece to get you into the second verse.
Right.
I just want to rap. Now I came from making full songs, but when hip hop changed, I changed my formula to coincide with what's going on right now. Because I come from CL Smooth school. CL Smooth go for like 70 bars a record. 3 verses.
Right. He always gave long verses, right?
You know what I'm saying? Heavy joints. Real wordy, real intricate, whatever his build is on that record. He's gonna molest that all the way until 4 minutes and 31 seconds. No kidding. I know Pete Rock was mad as shit. They had none of the shit we got now. He's like, I'm in here till tomorrow on the first track of the album.
Indeed, yeah. Yo, those Pete Rock CL Smooth albums is long as hell, yeah. Yo, you know, a lot of the young listeners don't know the original Mecca and the Soul Brother album though is longer than a CD. It's longer than a CD.
It's longer than this. You got it? You know somebody who got it?
Oh yeah, well I had it. Yeah, I have it. Yeah, because it's if you just get the extra remixes, then the album is longer than the 80 minutes that a CD can fit. You know what I mean? But
I love Main Ingredient better than Mecca and the Soul Brother.
You know, same here. But they're like, you know, you still gotta have both.
Mecca and the Soul Brother got straightened it out.
Yeah, you still gotta have both. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Woo! Heaters on that joint.
But it's crazy, right? Because they both became better. You know, that's why we love Main Ingredient. They both, you know, CL rhyme better. Right. Pete Rock, you know, developed the way his beats were. You know what I mean? 94 is a powerful year, you know, as a side note, you know.
Very powerful.
The records that Primo and Pete Rock made define them. That's where they found their sound. Hard to Earn and
Right.
main ingredient. You know what I mean? You know,
But 97 to
on
like
your records, you know,
2001
because
is what gave birth to me.
right, because you know, Ralphiie Reese, when we look up Ralphiie Reese and, you know, look up old records of Ralphiie Reese videos, YouTube and stuff like that, you know, you have a different sound. It's not very developed yet. You know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
You're stuck in you're in the dark ages, the 2000s, you know, so there's not a lot of see, when I say the 2000s, the dark ages, one of the things is that even hardcore music lost a lot of its refinement. It didn't have much power in it. It wasn't
too
thick.
much splendor going on.
Right, it wasn't thick. The you know, treble was too high. Nothing was EQ'd tough. Beats didn't really fill the room. If you fell in love with some, it's because of a sample, like a lot of Alchemist early material.
Right.
You fell in love with the sample hook, but the beat wasn't really something that was incredible like that. You know what I mean? Like
you
normally.
You bodied that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So boom, when I started taking hip hop serious, it was in a transitional period. So the crews that was popping, the Outdoorsmen, shout out to the Outdoorsmen, ASAP Mob, Futures, Meek was just starting to make his bones. The trajectory of Philly was just super different at that time. And we started taking shit serious. So that's why you got a lot of mixtapes and people rapping on other people's shit. Because nobody had no identity because music was changing.
Yeah, I definitely see
so
that.
It's not like I wasn't telling the truth or anything on those older records. It was more so trying to take rap serious and making music that I felt like people wanted to hear instead of what was near and dear to me. So my style literally changed overnight.
It's almost like all you great artists were developing. It doesn't matter who I talk to, whether, you know, it's Rome Streets or somebody else or K Burns. Like, everybody's developing through the 2000s, and then they explode and just say, I'm going to do what the fuck I feel like doing. And that's when the music explodes. It's like, to me, I feel like when you start making these beats like this, those are like the right sneakers for you to run in. And then now it all comes out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely. And, you know, one last clip from that Vulture Hours. That's still in the Bladesylvania. Harmonious hate, gorgeous in the dark. Then he says, praises to the most chiseled. You know the needle came to brittle your middle gland. Woo! Come on. Peace to the most chiseled. You know the needle came to brittle your middle gland. Like, this nigga aiming at specific glands and shit. Like,
right. You
just
know the needle
stuff.
came to rid of your middle gland.
Yeah.
Across the face if you dodging my ring kiss.
Oh, man. The layering is crazy on these records. You know what I mean? The layering is crazy. And sometimes, you know, when you make the records, you don't really give a fuck if we have trouble hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll start off at a certain... No, seriously. Like, you'll start off at a certain spot, or you'll start when someone else is finishing their verse. Like, it has such a live feel, and spontaneity, the records, you know? Let me ask you, though.
That's how I write them. That's how I produce them.
Let me ask you about the butterfly
like
needles.
The majority...
No, please.
Hold on, before we get into that.
Yes.
Majority of the records that you hear, I done wrote and produced that right there on the spot. Because I got the fever now. The shit is hot.
Right.
So we go into it right there. So you hear me wilding, Judge, watch, yo, hold me down. I'm wilding. I got the full energy right off the beat program. I'm turned the fuck up.
That's crazy. Shit. Yeah, you know, I'm telling you,
the whole battery.
It's just that, you know, I was thinking this, right? This is what I was thinking. I've been catching up on Mike Tyson's podcast. I love Mike Tyson's podcast. And
hot boxing, yeah, shout out to hot boxing.
The hot boxing. And
makes Mike more crazy that he's calm now.
Yeah. I was listening to an LL Cool J episode, right? And LL Cool J is one of the greatest MCs of all time. There's no debate about, no matter how much he licked his lips through, you know, he threw water seductively on himself in some videos that, you know, we don't really care to look at.
Yeah, he was wilding.
But, right? You know, when he did that shit like that, or, you know, and how many times he's licked his lips and stuff, it's okay. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, let's pause when we talk about LL. Like I feel like every time we talk about LL in the time period, like even though they might be like compliments, I feel like we gotta say pause. You know what I
right, you like it's obligatory. No, but LL, you know what was interesting to me, right, is that LL's made incredible albums. He's made incredible records, right? But I was hearing him now, right, and it's two things I was thinking about, right. In the podcast, he was dropping so many jewels. He really was insightful. And I didn't even finish it, but there was so many insights that he had that it was really great.
I mean, yeah, but that episode was a pissing contest. I know what you're talking about.
Right. But
fucking
still,
LL was trying to out and
I agree with
intellectual Mike Tyson.
Sure. And you know but that's a lot of LL's career too. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's after a lot of guys, right? After Rakim, then he starts dropping knowledge. Right? So that's kind of his whole career or his thing.
Right.
But what I was thinking is like, why couldn't he, it's some guys, they just won't, they have so much depth. And I don't know if this is for LL, because if he wants to or not, or he doesn't want to. But I'm saying there's so many artists that I find that they make good music, but they're much deeper off air or, outside of the booth, and they can't translate the depth of their insights onto a record. Certainly not the energy of this music making. It doesn't capture all of their essence, and I just think, for me, sometimes I feel like it's almost wasteful. It's almost wasteful. Like, how could you not capture it? We're just talking, right? We may have lost the God here. Let's get him back here. We'll get the God back. But my thing with LL Cool J is not a thing about LL Cool J. It was really a thing about it being lost. You know what I mean? This idea that an artist can have so many profound thoughts, but they may not even have the inclination to try to share all that on a record. And I don't know why. Where else would they express this kind of stuff? You know what I mean? And that's what's most interesting to me. You know what I mean? We lost Ralphie Reese for a little bit, so I'll talk a little bit about, some of the records that he has, that we talked about. All of the records that he's released since 2018 to me have been at the top level. When I make my reel of said year, they're always at the top. Arrow Bowie, we mentioned Arrow Bowie was definitely at the top of that list. Math Magician, I said it was really the key because it had what I was going to ask him about the records he's made. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can get the God here. Peace. All right, we're still trying. Let's see if we get the God. But yeah, and there's so many records. The Butterfly Needles, his own. He's talking about EPMD. I'm assuming, now I can build on it, whether he was influenced by EPMD also to make these song sequences, like Redman with Superman Lover, EPMD with Jane, him making the Butterfly Needles songs and, naming them all different types, you know what I mean? All right, let's keep trying, though. We'll talk about these records. Peace. Do we got the God on? Let's see if we have the God online. Peace, God.
Peace. You hear me?
Okay, yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah, I'm in the studio. I'm all the way to the back, windows closed and shit. I'm ground zero.
No, that's peace. What I was going to ask you now was, about, I mentioned that comment about the idea of relating the music. But let's jump.
Right.
Yeah. And that was a thing that I felt like when I listened to a Ralphie Reese record, I feel like everything that you think of is coming out on those records. Like it's a complete.
Yeah, at that time.
At any moment, anything that you want to convey or can convey gets in there. And that's one of the big things that I think separates the Invisible Renaissance or this era from even the 90s. You know what I mean? There's almost no formats. And that leaves a complete freedom. We could thank people like legends out of the dark ages like MF Doom, Remembered Imperfection and others.
Right.
That they just, did whatever. And it starts, it certainly starts with Wu because they had such a flurry of legendary MCs that they couldn't
But
really.
RZA also had a
Right.
vast knowledge of music. We can equate a lot of that to like the free form jazzes and shit like that.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because it's also the the amount of music that you have that actually opens up
Hmm.
that lyricism. You know what I mean?
Improvisation.
Right. Improvisation. Yeah, definitely. But yo, God, tell me about these series. You know, you were talking about you were influenced by EPMD on the production tip. Does that have something to
Hmm.
do with when you make these songs like Butterfly Needles, the series? And, you know, I love that. You know, I'm a wielder. People don't know I'm a martial artist. I'm a wielder of the butterfly knives. You know what I'm saying?
Where, yes, you are.
It's one of my favorite weapons. And,
You get busy with that joint. You gotta show me how to, this and that. I'm gonna
yeah.
be doing that shit obnoxiously
Oh
around
man.
the house.
Well, let me tell you something. I if I start using the butterfly knives, listening to your butterfly needles tracks, I might cut my fucking head off though. It might get 2 amps.
No,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
won't. No, you won't. You just gotta hold your
Nah,
arms
yo,
out.
I tell all the time though, certain hip hop, man, certain hip hop will get me fucking killed out there. You guys will get me killed.
Yo,
You
you gonna
guys
be
will
cutting
get
your own head off.
I get so hyped, you know what I mean? But tell me
Word.
about the butterfly needles, because it's one. Every time I hear the butterfly needle songs, they're always a highlight, and your theme behind them, like, or is there a theme behind them? Like, how do they get called that, or what? Are there any kind of
Butterfly
ideas that have to
needles.
be in it?
Butterfly needles, right? It's some kung fu shit, of course.
Indeed.
But also, this is one of my it's my song series. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the first songs that I really bodied. So I kept making them, and they started taking a life on their own. You know what I'm saying? My very first mixtape was called Division. I had butterfly needles on the joint, and it was called like a skit. And I felt like I was trying to change the game and shit. I felt like a billion people was going to hear my mixtape when I put it out and shit. So I started as a skit. I was trying to change the game for skits. Like, let's rap on skits.
Right.
And it was just like, one crazy verse, and then leads you into the next track or whatever. But then they started turning into whole songs and shit after like 4, 3. I'm gonna send you an email, all the needles, and show I'm a collector.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
We at like 13 now, some shit. We at 13.
Yeah, because that's right.
That's 13, and since 2014, that's 13 needles.
Yeah, because the new album has a 13th. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. One of the many highlights on the albums, and something to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? It's so much fun.
No matter what I do, the whole album could be trash. But that butterfly needles, because it stands for so much at this point, I gotta body it. I could be dragging my nuts for 15 tracks, but that 16 track is gonna be the shit. No cap.
Right.
Like when Rose, you see Maybach music, it's up. This nigga put a Maybach music on the album, it's up.
Crazy. Yo, question too, one album that, Reese, that came out in, we're talking about these recent 2019 up to today. I don't want to talk about it too much though, because I don't want to disappoint the listener because they won't be able to find it. But the Resurrect EP, which is a really strong EP, that's nowhere to be found.
I'm gonna put that back out, bro. I'm gonna put that back out.
Indeed, because that was a strong one, guy, with not just the features.
Yeah, I feel like it was too.
Yeah. And
because everybody was dancing on that shit.
And it had unique, it was very unique to hear Daniel's son, Bub Rock, on it. You know what I'm saying? Because Bub Rock doesn't do too many features. Most of his features are with the Walkers. You know what I mean? With the Walkers rimming
that
them.
Shit was by design. I want to Bub cool ass on some Dart Unit beats.
Right.
Bub too cool for school and shit.
Word.
So I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna get you on one of these Dart Unit beats. And he was fucking with me, man. Shout out to Bub, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And what else I enjoy about it is I caught Esty neck when he talking to niggas. Like it's very he getting that rare space where he talks to you. It's more high octane with him.
Yes.
So I caught him in a space where he's talking to you.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. Let's build.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like it's a special record. It's a special record, and it's very rare to say that a record's special because of the features anymore. You know what I mean? But it's the way that you got the features. It's the way that you use them. You know what I mean? And then now,
it's like a little compilation. It's like Reese and Friends or some shit.
yeah. Ralphie, Reese and Friends. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Yeah. So tell me about the Shine Mosley 3, because the Shine Mosleys, what makes Ralphie Reese rhyme as Shine Mosley now? You know, what makes those the Shine Mosley records?
I'm pissed off. I feel like all my little characters and shit are like direct derivatives of myself. So Shine Mosley is like me before Knowledge of Self and shit. I'm just wilding. So basically, it's like I'm back on my bullshit. Something that made me mad. I'm back on my shit. Fuck with me. And that shit resonates with a whole different demographic. You know what I'm saying? Because normally I'm talking to gods and nerds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People in a certain struggle that have been through some shit. But with Mosley, I'm talking to those gods that still in the mix. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right, because the
Supreme Team type niggas.
Because Shine Mosley got a lot of lines that are really like they're gruesome. You know what I'm saying? They're very they're very intimate. You know, like Mind, Body, and Soul Tape, where you said suicidal, but I got babies. I was like, wow, that's a tough line right there. Like just thinking about shit like that. You know what I mean?
Word. People fail to talk about that shit. Like I'm very transparent in my music. If you're not gonna understand me in the physics, you're gonna understand me on these beats. Because I mean, you know, people feel like they cool, they want to hip hop bob their head, they want to hear the new hot shit. So let's put this real shit that people fail to talk about on these thugged out ass beats and tell the truth.
Right.
On these hard ass rap tracks, tell the truth. It'll set you free.
Indeed. And you know, there's so much good stuff here. Germantown and Chelton, the wordplay, interpolated layering. We done read back Silvers with bloody blast fast on the sharp lines. Like, it's just crazy. You know, one thing that makes your records good is that you always have that great opening lines. Your opening lines always have really good starts. You know what I mean? Unique words.
I'm thinking about
special
words.
About
the end rhyme while I'm making the beat. And you wouldn't believe where that sample is from.
Oh shit! I don't even want to. Yeah, you know,
fuck niggas.
The Germantown.
Germantown is showing, yes.
Oh yeah, no. If you're gonna tell, you gotta tell me off. You let me know off air, yeah. No, yeah, yeah.
Once I send it to you and you listen to it, you'll be like, oh shit, man. He is crazy.
You know, a lot of people, when I say that Ralphie Reese fucks me up with the samples, is that, you know, sometimes Ralphie Reese online, he used to throw out some samples and have like a real, you know, what was it? He'll have like a record that's supposed to be corny, and he'll flip it and it sound fucking rugged as fuck. You know what I mean?
Insane, right? Yeah, that's by design.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I had did some shit for Vinny. I did what the fuck was it, Vinny, on the Vinny shit? The new edition, y'all. Which one was that? Any Given Sunday? No, what was it that? It was If It Isn't Love. Oh yeah, that was what song was that? Yo, we gonna send that shit to you too. You're right. It's called New Edition. It's called New Edition. Right, yo. I thug that shit out. If it isn't, man, what? I had Ralph sounding like fucking Blue Raspberry on that song. I forgot about that song.
You had one time. You had one time a Kenny Loggins record. Remember you had that? I forgot what
Kenny Loggins.
Yeah, you had some Kenny Loggins album. You know,
Kenny Loggins is hard body, yo.
Yeah, you found the heat on that. I was like, And then the way you flipped it, you know, it's not that you just find the heat. It's just that it ends up sounding like, now it sounds like a Reese record. You know what I mean? It sounds,
word.
you know, because some people find the heat though, and then it's like pretty much anybody could do that if they found
That's
it.
I just said that. Did I say that shit earlier? Anybody can catch a loop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas is nice because they caught a loop. Where's the creativity in that loop?
Right. See, you don't see me judging records, right? I have to judge the record good. If people find a sample that is very hard to find.
Right. My bad. We got caught off track. We just caught a spirit real fast.
No. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. No. When they feeling all this shit though, you know what I mean? Good example, because we're talking about the Shine Mosley 3, the V1 track 6. You know, the way you flip you flip a famous sample. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, right.
I'm not even gonna snitch on it if you don't know that one.
Ways.
And
listen, yo, if I fucking I'm gonna sample that shit till I can't do it no more.
Right, because you know a lot of the Wu influence. People will accept it from you and hate it from everyone else, as they should.
Right.
Is because there's so many RZA samples that you have reflipped and made it sound really dope. And so many people don't do that.
Because you know what the problem is? They don't honor the music. They just want that, that's the John such and such did. Oh, I fuck with that. He got the such and such sample on it.
Right. And it's
respect the music. It's a lot of heat I don't even fucking touch. Like, I respect this song way too much. Right, they don't fuck with that John. Let me and Cuz rock.
There's so many, you know, it's also a Dart Unit thing. All you guys, the production that you guys are around, the production that you do, and then when you pick from other people, so it's like now you know, because look at Supreme Cerebro. Everybody he picks, you know, they're all, you know, intense with the samples. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
it's
they did shit.
Great digs.
Shout out to Clipto.
Oh, great, yeah, Clipto.
Shout out to Diggs.
Dirty Digs. You know what I mean? Like, there's a pantheon.
Shout out to Yoga.
You know, for the listeners, there's a pantheon of great diggers out there, and I don't think that you get enough credit, Reese, for being one of those, you know, exceptional producers out there.
Because I feel like it's because I'm more on the front lines for my words. You can't blame nobody for that. Because they're not going to put Scarface in a production conversation. Because if we love Scarface and he got a classic body of work and all that shit, what about the better music he was rocking on? He did like 85 to 90% of that shit. It's all good. But once you get the project or you download it, stream it, and you roll those credits, you're like, oh shit, Reese did that?
Right.
And that's more so what I go for.
Right. It's like that lost producer MC, you know, like
yeah, right.
Early KRS-One, BDP records, right? Like all the stuff that KRS produced, you know.
I'm the nigga that played tambourines on Get On Up. Look for me. He got a discography. He was shaking them tambourines hard.
Yo,
he changed the game for tambourines. He got music. Oh shit. Michael Henderson sing.
Yo,
oh, shit.
I gotta tell you, man. Yo, Reese, the vibe that you guys have though, it comes across in the music so easily, you know. It makes it to be some of the most fun records that I get to write about, you know what I mean, and get to enjoy, you know what I mean.
Well, I appreciate that because we brothers in real life.
Indeed, you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? We're not just a team of misfits. We ain't the replacement players and shit.
right. And you know,
like the whole
word,
unit, you know what I'm saying?
A word on, you know, before we get to the latest record, a word on the general process on album covers, because for a couple of years there, you know, really until maybe not really, but like maybe Bladesylvania.
Tell them, Lord,
too.
I ran
but
shit.
all these album
Tell
covers.
them I ran shit.
Oh man, these album covers, especially the red a lot of the red covers are just incredible.
I changed the game for album covers. No cat. And listen. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not. Don't take me like that. I'm not a cocky person. You know what I'm saying? But based off what I've seen after what I did, you know what I mean?
Yo, if your album covers didn't have like, if your album covers didn't have any English words on them, right? Yo, God, if your album covers didn't have any English words on them, people think like they was some like foreign record and shit. Like,
yeah,
they
right,
have that vibe.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're an old crate. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't even look. Yeah, it looks crazy. It looks crazy. You know what I mean? And to see the depth of them, it's a whole package with Ralphiie Reese. It's a whole package with Ralphiie Reese. You know what I mean?
You know, when you see those different shades of red, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving a salute to my zodiac sign. I'm a Capricorn.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I love shades of red, you know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah, it's some of the best use of shades of red, you know what I mean? But yo, let's build about the latest album as we get to the last part of the show. Bladesylvania Book 2, you know what I'm saying?
Book 2.
Powerhouse again.
My baby boy.
You know what I'm saying? Powerhouse again. You know what's interesting is
I don't feel like that. I feel like it flopped a little bit.
Really?
I feel like it was a flop.
Really? You know,
yeah, I'm being perfectly honest with you.
I don't know. As far as like how it's acclaimed and stuff, I don't put too much stock in anybody else because I don't think that people. I'll tell you now though, for the listener, you know, like it's November, so maybe you get more records, but I have over 300 albums that I think are good this year.
Right.
So there's so much stuff that stuff just gets lost no matter what. And honestly, people are making great records where I would be okay if they just gave me one. And people are making people are making bad records because they overdid it a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? They reach a peak or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Because they already dropped 20 times this year.
Yeah, and you know, they might have said everything that they really could say about the particular realities that they live in. Maybe, you know, because to me, a writer has to go learn more, live more. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly.
there's only so much you can write.
At the end of the day, depending on your content, right? Depending on your content.
Right.
Now, Muhammad Ali has this build somewhere overseas. It's online. Now, depending on the content, you only have a certain amount of years of experience in that lane. So all you really doing is just picking out like 2-3 minutes of that day. Somebody could be talking about something right now. It sounds stugged out, but it happened when it was 18. That shit ain't happened last night.
Right.
So a lot of content is going to get redundant at a point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because when you hear me on those filmy type records, my little struggle stories, that wasn't wrong. I just turned 30. I've been taking rap serious since like 25. So I'm talking about shit from like 19 to like 23, 24. That's not long. If I'm going to do that, if I'm going to be a struggle rapper. You know what I'm saying? Flies forever. Knowledge is forever.
Absolutely. And, you know, this record, though, here's the thing, the way I see it. You know, you were saying that, you know, whether you thought it was a flop or whatever, but, like, there's only one Ralphiie Reese record this year. So it's a special record no matter what, because nobody else can make this
by
type
design.
Of record. Nobody else can make
by
this.
design.
You know, saying shit like on the Raja Caffeine, you said it's Nipsey. We lost him right before the storm. Like the context by which you're saying things, you know, like the wordplay, like it's Nipsey, like it's cold out here. Like we lost him right before the storm. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? You know, I won't even try to pronounce all these tracks, but track 3, you know, motion pictures, stand still. We more elliptical than cinemas. Your mystery following to be rid of us. Then
that's living dead in Arabic.
Crazy. Crazy. You also said resurrection at the seance spot. They should have kept me scattered. Whoever's organized at the spot know my sadness.
My sadness.
That man, that's
Back to
crazy.
action like a rewind, a change form, more gorgeous.
Right. But it's the way
I was more
saying
Count Darkula on book 2. You know what I'm saying? The first Bladesylvania was like, let's see if it can work. So I'm doing a lot of rhyming, you know what I'm saying, word placements and shit, making it colorful. So now Count Darkula has a world. Bladesylvania is a world. So now on book 2, we could be more Count Darkula. Just like with Sean Mosley 2 and 3, I was more Sean Mosley, like getting in the character, you know what I'm saying, removing myself out of it. The very first one is me. The shit I'm going through at that particular point in time. But as I started getting known for the alter egos and shit like that, I become more immersed in that character on some Heath Ledger type shit.
Right. It's just
you know what I'm saying?
So many great lines.
When you hear stories like that on wax and shit, it's like, yo, this is legit him being artistic and creative. Ain't nobody doing that shit. Let's be real. I don't die and come back to life every night.
The lines are all over this record.
It's a movie.
The lines are all over this record. Master builders, architect in the winds. You know what I mean? What is it you said? Blow a dart and make it live for itself. I'm like electrophysiology, harsh biology. What the fuck?
Actinology rap.
Yo, it takes me like some records that you have here. I'm listening to them like for, 2 or 3 times in a row. They have so many lines, so intricacies, the flows. You know what I mean? The flows. Like you don't leave a lot of space. You don't leave a lot of space in the bar.
I said some shit on Gloomy Days that was crazy. I wrote that right after Nori said that goofy shit out his mouth. I said, drinking the champs. I got a stage pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm Count Darkula on this record, drinking the champs. I got a stage pass. When Nori said that goofy shit out of his mouth, then Shy gonna go on fucking drink champs.
It seems like all the show. You know what I'm saying? Because
everybody was right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I had an opportunity to be on a lot of those disc records too.
Really?
Between all of us. Yeah, I had an opportunity to be on a lot of that shit. But the older guys was like, yo, nah, don't get in that shit. I already see how this is going. Don't involve yourself in it. I'm like, all right. They do all that shit, and we see the end game. Certain, people in the traditional 9 got involved and all that. All that was, like you said, a show.
Indeed. Track 13, also different. I'm assuming a different language, right? You had incredible lines on this. You know what I mean? You said, I'm in the circle of my cipher C, and if thugs change, why am I still a heathen? I keep strive for the same reasons. My old diseases got demons. Can't Google the pain.
Got demons. We improvise treatment. You know what I mean?
Can't Google the pain.
So lucky on the soul search.
That's right. What can I do? You said, put the drums to the loop. I know my soul's worth. I mean, that's powerful right there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Looking back, powerful. I never learned church. Hurting my earth. Reassurances never worked. Stand firm, baby.
And I segue this.
That's real shit.
Yeah. And again, this is a great record. All these records for the listeners, they're on ralphiereese.bandcamp. RalphieReese, ralphiereese.bandcamp. I quoted that on purpose to segue into a post that you had recently. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen this come up about whether you're going to continue to make music, or not make music. You've said that this new album you showed a cover for, Slang Poetry, is going to be your last project ever. You're not going to do it anymore. And,
right.
I'm not here to try to convince you to make art, because it feels like it's almost like people convince other people just to make them products. You know what I'm saying? You need to make products for me to consume. And so much of hip hop, or people that live hip hop or anything, people are just living it like a consumer, So they'll
Yeah,
be like, "Oh,
exactly.
Ralphie, make more stuff so I can continue to consume."
Yeah.
But
It's a what have you done for me lately culture out here right now.
absolutely.
Nobody's really digesting the music. And I don't know if you've seen, but I've been supposed to like give this shit up. But I had so much unfinished music and I let my brothers talk me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I made it conducive for myself. You know what I'm saying? So I started dropping one a year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To get out of the pot of the same thing every 5 seconds. I've like every album I done heard was the same album this year. There's no slight to nobody. Much success and more life to everybody. You can't blame them. They only making what they're making. You have to blame the consumer. The consumer misplaced originality and creativity with a ton of other things.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So if it's not familiar or nostalgic or the same, they're not fucking with you. So in turn, like for me, an artist like me, I feel like the game was sewn up for me, and I missed a lot. I missed a lot of waves coming into this. I missed the wave with the feature, being featured on somebody's album. They listening for me, but I'm on it and I get busy now. I'm famous. I missed that wave. You know what I'm saying? I missed the wave of clicking up. I missed the wave of getting a hot producer. I missed all the waves. Everything I had to do for dough. So people know my name because of what I did. Nobody made me hot. I earned whatever spot I had, you know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful for the roses I do have. I'm not complaining for the ones I don't have.
I see it.
But at the end of the day, when we go out here and when we create music and want to get paid for it, cop this, buy that, limited edition, whatever the case may be, we're trying to get away from a certain part of life. Even though it's all work, we want to do what we love to do and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So when it's a lack of ears and eyes, things like that, I wouldn't say it's discouraging. Hell no, it's not discouraging. You know what I'm saying? I accomplished what I had to accomplish. To me, everybody that I felt like I looked up to know who I am, or somebody around them know who I am. You know what I'm saying? My name rang bells. You know what I mean? I'm content with that. Because I came out of nowhere. I'm not from New York. You know what I'm saying? I came out of nowhere. I came from a place where people forgot about.
I see it.
And there's just a lot of misrepresentation of the city of Philadelphia. So I'm talking for the people who live in how we live it, on and off the mic. We telling the truth. We're not conforming. We're not kissing no ass. We don't care what we say. I mean, we care what we say, but we telling the truth. We don't care who we offend. So now you're getting caught up in cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people wouldn't be who they is now without cancel culture, without moving such and such out the way because they said something too real. And you too feeble-minded of an individual. You don't want that constructive criticism. I welcome that type of shit. That's right. Why, you know what I mean, that's why we progress every project, every song, because you know what I mean, I welcome that constructive criticism. Like I've heard, yo, this nigga Reese say dart too much. He's way too talented to say dart too much. Okay, cool. I took dart out my language. I replaced it with a million other words. We got that out the way. Okay, boom. His music is too muddy. Da 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 da. Every mix gets better on me perfecting this craft. So now I gave you a well-mixed project. I didn't say dart. And I didn't click up with nobody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, no matter what you do, it's like you can't win. The people choose who's the king. And if the people don't choose you, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? It's like a hobo being on the boulevard talking about some buy my baby's water. I'm not doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going, you know what I mean? I'm an able-bodied person. I'm not going to beg you to take care of me and mine.
Right.
So I'm going to get out here and do what I have to do, whatever that may be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I lived a certain life that people pretend to live and all that, but I also have education in my back pocket. I can do whatever I set my mind to. It don't necessarily have to be rap.
I definitely see it. But I definitely see it.
I feel like I played the characters out. So what I did say was, I'm gonna give the people a straight up rap album, slang poetry. I'm gonna give them a straight up rap album. I'm a rap for real. You know what I'm saying? I guess I come across too preachy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I have a certain demographic that I want to keep that I sincerely care about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. You need to for my lyrics to sound fly and all that. I sincerely care about the demographic I'm talking about. So I'm not going to pull away from certain things in total, but I'm just going to change it up a little bit and see what it does. And maybe that'll determine my decision in the end game.
Well, I will say this.
That's it. It's just smart enough.
Indeed, God. Indeed. I will say this, God, because, it's been a long time coming to build with you officially on air.
Word.
Everything that you've worked on, I've covered, and tried to bring light to it.
You've been a great support. My whole unit loves you.
Yeah, man. If this is the last work that you come out with, slang poetry, then, I'll dissect it, put it into the context it deserves in the pantheon of all-time records, and enjoy the work. You know what I mean? I would say this. I think any artist, I want them to do what they want to do. So even I would like you to make art when you feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever the fuck you feel like it, and if it's one song or if it's whatever, if you make it and none of us get to hear it, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? But
or I might be a legacy act like Ka. That nigga come whenever the hell he feel like it.
Yeah,
he'll drop one album and
indeed,
he'll go in the dungeon for 3-4 years and shred shit.
Right. And peace to Ka, man. He really is a great example of that, man. You know what
exactly. I mean? And MCs like Smooth. Shout out to the winners. Now I understand why Smooth be in and out, how he be in and out. You know what I'm saying? Supreme told me like, yo, this ain't what you think it is, Lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm young and impressionable. Like, oh, no, I'm going to rap with such and such. I want everybody to be friends and all. Hell no. This shit ain't like that. As much as you want it to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The game hardens you.
Yeah, understood.
As much as you come in wanting to work with everybody, each one, teach one, that's hopeful wishing. That's radical left. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Well, yo, we're at the end of this episode, man. Ralphiie, Reese, I want to thank you, man. It's always a blessing to get your records, dissect them, enjoy them. And no matter what happens, though, to me, you'll go down as one of the greats of this era. And that's an actual fact.
I hope so. That's all I strive for.
That's the way it's written in Sunez's annals and catalogs.
Where
you know what I mean?
We got the book.
That's right. And there'll be many more. But yo, until next time, there'll be a lot more stories to tell, writings to recite, and records to rewind and reminisce. For my guest, the God, Ralphiie Reese, the Lost Crate essential MC of this invisible Renaissance era to me. I'm your host, Sunez Allah, a.k.a. Skillustrator Low. And as always, the Power Right Show is a never respect fake broadcast. Peace.
Peace.